Hey guys, so this week what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the cross. We're going to talk about why we celebrate it, and then we're going to make what's called a God's Eye. These are just yarn and popsicle sticks, and I got the idea from a website called Sophie's World, and she has a cool art video, a little crafting video about how to make these. I will include that in the link below for you to get some tips on. She does ask that she suggests that you use a hot glue gun. I don't have one, so I just kind of winged it. Before we make our craft, what I wanted to talk about was the cross. Why do we as Christians celebrate the cross? And really there's two reasons. The first is that when Jesus died on the cross, he died for our sins, right? We all know that. This is something that we celebrate on Good Friday. We know that when he died, he took all of our sins off of us and took them on himself, so that when he died, he took all of our sins. The second is because when he died on the cross, he actually defeated death by being resurrected by God on Easter Sunday. So this is why we celebrate the cross. The cross, which had been used as a government's way of torturing people and showing that kind of their power over people. And so when we celebrate the death of Jesus on the cross by having crosses all over our houses or wearing necklaces, or I even had a ring that was a cross, or all over the church. They're everywhere, right? When we're celebrating the cross, we're not celebrating death. We're celebrating Jesus' saving grace and God's resurrecting power. So when next time you guys see a cross around somebody's neck or out and about throughout the day or at church, think about the things that we celebrate, not just that it's a piece of furniture or some sort of a decoration. This is a big part of our faith. So what we're going to do today is we are going to make what's called a God's Eye cross. And when we do so, we have 2 popsicle sticks. And like I said, Sophie suggests hot gluing these popsicle sticks, but I'm going to wing it. And then I would like to use the pink and the teal. And since I've made those other two with just 2 different colors, I'm going to try tying these 2 colors together and seeing how that looks. And then I'll walk you through how to make it. Okay, so I have my 2 strings together. It's a pink and a teal. I don't know if you can see it. That's okay. And then I'm going to take my cross, my popsicle sticks, and like I said, mine are not hot glued. If you have a hot glue gun, you are welcome to dab a little bit and then secure the cross part, horizontal part of your cross to that vertical part. It is a little bit easier, I'm sure, because as you'll notice, mine kind of goes all wobbly as I'm doing this first part. So what I'm going to do, and I'll show you this way, is I'm going to take my knot with my 2 colors, and you'll see that the ends are kind of poking out over the corner of the cross. Okay, so I'm going to take the slack, which is the stuff that's still attached to my reams of yarn, and I'm going to wrap it across. Okay, 2 times, 1, 2. And then I'm going to turn, oops, see, this is the hard part. I'm going to turn it so that what was horizontal is now vertical. And I'm going to do 2 more wraps. Okay, and then again I'm going to turn it, quarter turn if you will, and I'm going to wrap. And now I'm wrapping from the bottom left to the top right. You just figure out which way works for you. Okay, again, and I'm turning, and I'm wrapping from bottom left to top right. Okay, so that's that. I think it might work better if you kind of, when you're doing it, when you're making your first cross, if you make sure they kind of cover. I don't know if that's necessary, but it helped me. Okay, so make sure my cross piece is really tucked in there. You'll see it's not really wobbling anymore. It's pretty solid. So now what I'm going to do is I'm putting my yarn on the bottom right, you'll see, okay? And I'm going to take my 2 pieces of yarn and I'm going to go to the top left, okay? Top left, and then I'm going to wrap it around the top. So wrap it behind the top, and then I'm going to turn. Again, bottom right to top left, wrap behind the back. Okay, as you turn, you'll realize that the strings go to the bottom. Okay, so again, bottom right, go across the top left, go behind the top stick, turn. Bottom right to top left, go behind the top stick, and turn. And you're just going to keep doing that. Keep going. I might have to scooch your yarn down a bit, but you should be able to just keep going along the outside of that pattern. You'll see my yarn is starting to twist together. And that's how you make it. And then when you're done and you're ready to tie them off, so this is what I've got now. I've got my yarn, I've got it ready to go on to the next, but I'm just going to stop here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger on the back of this top piece. Oops. I wrapped it around like I was ready to move on to the next, but I'm not actually going to move on to the next. Instead, I've got my finger pressed against the top of it. I'm going to wrap it around, and then from this point, I'm going to cut my 2 pieces of yarn. So I'm just holding on. I still have the yarn wrapped around my finger, and then in the front, I'm going to wrap it around the top again, and I'm going to take the yarn from the bottom of the loop to the top of the loop, and I'm going to kind of do only a little loop here, because what I want to do, if you can see that, is I want to take the little bit of slack that's left, and I'm actually going to put the slack through there. I feel like Sophie has you doing a different knot in her video. I feel like this one's a bit more secure. Okay, and then make sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't unravel on me. So when you've got this little loop in here, make sure that this top row is nice and snug. And then put your slack through the loop. So there's your God's eye, or it's a nice cross. And on the back, you'll notice it's still beautiful colors. I think it looks great, guys. So I will see you tomorrow when we do our, is it tomorrow? Yeah, Wednesday. See you on Wednesday at 3:30 when we do our kids crafting. And make sure anybody who wants to do it is welcome to join us. Even if it's not somebody who's in our church, if you know of some friends who want to join us, just let me know so I can drop some supplies off for them. Okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!